Have you ever felt completely alone, even a room full of people? That quiet ache that just keeps whispering, you don't belong here? Or that sense that no one really sees you, no one knows you, or could even understand what you're really going through? You're not broken, and you're not invisible. What you're experiencing is the result of a deeply conditioned trance, a mental and emotional pattern that hypnosis and NLP can help you to unwind. And that's exactly what we're here to discuss in today's Mindful Monday. So if it is your first time joining us, feel free, as always, of course, to type in the comments where you're coming from. If you have any questions or comments, they can go there as well. And if you have any topics you would like to hear more about in the future, we love all of that. Also, you'll want to make sure that you stay until the end of this video to find out how you can receive some free gifts, including a complimentary recording on using hypnosis on releasing limiting beliefs, blah. Anyway, for today, in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to rewire that pattern that tells you this loneliness is a problem, right? And how to shift from this disconnection to a deep interconnection, from isolation to belonging. And we're going to do it without needing anyone else to help us to change. So let's begin. So feel yourself getting centered now, and just taking a moment. Now let's talk again. Loneliness isn't just about being alone. It's about feeling separate from others, feeling separate from love, and sometimes even from yourself. And now here's something that most people do not realize. You can be surrounded by people and still feel painfully lonely. You can also be alone and not feel lonely. That's because loneliness is not about external proximity. It's about internal perception. Now, in NLP and hypnosis, we understand that feelings like loneliness are often the byproduct of the subconscious mind's beliefs and emotional filters that were formed early in life. Maybe you were rejected as a child. Maybe you were bullied. Maybe your emotional needs were kind of ignored or passed by. And slowly, without realizing it, you began to believe things like, I'm not wanted, or I don't belong, or I'll always be on the outside. And these beliefs became the lens through which you experienced the rest of connection in the world. And your nervous system learned that it's safer to withdraw, to hide, or to numb out than to risk being hurt again. Totally natural. But here's the good news on all of this. That lens isn't needing to be fixed, and it doesn't have to stay this way. The belief system can be changed, and that emotional pattern can be rewired safely, gently, and deeply with hypnosis and with NLP. So let's talk about NLP reframes and identity shifts and the power of language. Language is so powerful. When someone says, I am lonely, they're literally identifying as loneliness. When we say I am, we're identifying. In NLP, we work at this level of identity. We shift statements from I am lonely to something like I'm experiencing a moment of loneliness. Something like I don't belong becomes I'm learning how to feel at home in myself. No one wants me can become I'm discovering people who align with the real me. Right? So this is a big shift, this reframe. And this is the essence of the reframe, changing the meaning that we assign to an experience. So another core NLP tool that we use is submodality shifting. Sounds very complex, but in a nutshell, ask yourself, how do I experience loneliness in my mind? Maybe you see a certain image when you feel this feeling of loneliness. Or maybe it can be dark or blurry or heavy, this visual, if it's visual. Or there could be an internal voice that says you're alone again in your mind, so that would be more auditory. Or maybe there's a place that you feel this sensation in your body, that more kinesthetic. And notice where it is if you have that. And now imagine taking that image, if you're visual, and making it smaller, moving it further away, even turning it into a black and white photo. You can change the voice's tone if you're auditory to something silly. I like to use Daffy Duck, it just cracks me up. Or you can wrap the body, if you're kinesthetic, in a warm light, like a soft blanket. Very fascinating, right? So you just began reprogramming how your brain stores emotional pain and feelings, right? So these tiny shifts might seem simple, but they're very powerful. They teach the brain to respond to old triggers in new ways. So let's go even deeper now. Hypnosis is going to work directly with the subconscious mind, which is that part of you that runs the emotional software in the brain, if you will, in the background, right? And so this is where your beliefs, your fears, and your emotional reflexes actually live. Loneliness becomes a kind of trance that you enter over and over again, without even realizing it for the most part. But what if you could install a new trance, one of connection, one of worthiness, and one of emotional safety? That's exactly what we're going to do right now, if you're willing, of course. So, of course, if it is safe to do so, I'll ask you to gently close your eyes. You don't want to be driving a motor vehicle. You can always come back and rewatch this video when it is safe. But if it is safe, go ahead and gently close your eyes down. Just let your hands rest loosely apart or in your lap, wherever is comfortable. And take a slow, deep breath in through your nose. And exhale gently out through your mouth, maybe even with a little sigh. Allow those eyes to soften behind your eyelids. Allow your jaw to relax. Your teeth might even slightly part. And let your shoulders drop just a little bit more with each and every out breath. And now imagine that you're stepping into a calm, quiet space. This space is just for you. It feels warm, safe, peaceful. And in this space, I invite you to bring to mind a moment when you felt truly connected. This could be anything at all. It could be a time you laughed with someone you love, perhaps a quiet walk in nature where you felt whole, maybe a look or a touch. It could even be a childhood memory. It doesn't have to be perfect, just real. See what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt. And let that feeling of connection begin to grow and grow in your body. Maybe it's a warmth in your chest, or a gentle softness in your belly. It could be a lightness in your heart. Now imagine that feeling is expanding and filling your chest, spreading out to your shoulders, and down through your arms, into your hands, into the fingers of your hands, down your back, into the legs, down, all the way down to the tips of your toes. Let it fill your entire body. Let yourself remember what it feels like to be safe, seen, and emotionally connected. And in this feeling, repeat in your mind, it is safe to connect. I am open to being seen. I am worthy of love just as I am. I belong right here, right now. That's right, and let those words settle in. Let them take root in the soil of your subconscious mind. Breathe deeply in one more time. And as you exhale, gently begin to return to the room, maybe wiggling your fingers and your toes, having a little stretch, and when you're ready, you can open up your eyes. That's right, coming back. Now you just experienced what it feels like to interrupt the trance of loneliness. And not by force, not by fixing yourself, but by reconnecting to the part of you that was never truly alone. And it wasn't just relaxation, it was neurological rewiring. Now here's how to reinforce this shift. So firstly, do this hypnosis or a similar hypnosis, even if it's just for a few minutes every single day. Repetition is the key. You're creating new neural pathways in your mind and strengthening positive ones as well. These positive associations are actually neuroplasticity in action. What you practice, you become. Second, you can use affirmations, but make sure they're ones that feel authentic. Instead of something like, I'm never lonely again, try something incremental, like more and more I feel connected to myself and the world around me. Thirdly, you can use physical anchoring. So each time that you do actually feel connected, if you have a physical anchor, you can use that. Otherwise, I like to touch middle fingers to thumbs. And, take a deep breath in, and you'll name this feeling. Maybe it's just connection. Exhale, think or say your word or phrase. I typically do that 3 times each time. And then if you do this often enough, that touch actually becomes your anchor and your trigger for that sense of calm and belonging. And this creates an association that your body can return to at will. Finally, speak to yourself differently, in a kind way, that is. Something like, I'm allowed to feel love. I'm learning to let connection feel safe. I'm already enough. This is how you rewire your emotional set point. You're not faking it till you make it. You're not training your subconscious to recognize things that you don't need to have. What you're doing is you're training your subconscious to love safety and connection as your baseline. The positives, right? Instead of what we don't want. So the most powerful shift you can make isn't out there in the world. It's inside of you. Loneliness is not who you are. It's a trance that you learn to fall into. It's a pattern. But with NLP and hypnosis, you can wake this up. We wake up a lot when we use hypnosis instead of going to sleep, right? You can step into a new identity, one that knows it is lovable, seen, and safe to connect. You are not alone in this. And with the tools I've shared today, you can begin creating emotional connection from the inside out. Because true belonging does not start with finding the right people. You don't have to chase connection anymore. You don't have to wait for someone to come along and fix you or complete you. It starts with becoming the version of you that feels at home in your heart. Now, when you reconnect to your own heart, when you break that trance of unworthiness, and when you give your subconscious these new language patterns, this new sense of safety, and these new stories, you become an actual magnet for authentic connection, the kind that you really do want to keep, because you're no longer running from yourself. You deserve connection, you deserve safety, you deserve love. And it all begins by changing the trance from within. That's right. Now, if you'd like a free recording, as I said earlier, and some other gifts, simply type or in the comments or message us mindful, and then follow the link, which I'll put in. If you'd like to work one-on-one to have some assistance with rewiring your mind even more, I'd love to hear from you. You can always check out the website, unwindthemind.com, or email us at unwindthemindllc@gmail.com. Until then, trust your body, train your mind, and keep breathing into your power, because you have the power to change. All right, so I hope this has been useful to you. Please like and subscribe, and we hope to see you again in the future. Have a great Mindful Monday.